You're listening to the Sisterhood Podcast.
Welcome back. You're here with your favourite sisters again. So this week we are going to talk about what does high value mean. When we look online, we see lots of traits listed as high value man, confidence, wealth, and physical strength. But what do us girlies really think makes a high value man?
Okay, so yes, what do we think makes a high value man? Okay, for me, I've had this argument on the Red Pill podcasts, right? And I've gone in and I've said, F your standards, okay? My name isn't Kevin Samuels. A high value man to me is a man with emotional intelligence, a man with integrity, a man who knows how to reflect on his own actions and reflect on his behavior. A high value man for me doesn't have to be a man that has millions in the bank account, but he does have to be a man who has millions in ideas. A high value man for me is someone who cares about their family. A high value man for me is someone who looks after the women in their life, whether it be mum, sisters. A high value man is someone who just wants to spend each day bettering themselves. Amen. Not putting people
better yourself,
not putting people down and looking after business. Yes, you know, we love protection, right? Yes, we love provision, but I just don't think those are the only key things that men can offer these days. I think back in the day, you know, when we had back in the day, let me not go on too long. Pass the mic. I think back in the day, men were expected to provide and to protect. But I think now we've just evolved so much as a community, so much as a people, that men being more emotional and being more emotionally available and understanding,
and aware.
That's valuable these days. Okay, and also a man that can control his willy. I'm sorry.
She went there. Yeah, because if you're high value, surely you should. Do you get what I mean? 100%, you should. Not everyone should be having access to you. Do you get what I mean? Like,
I also feel like a high value man is someone who doesn't say, I'm a high value man. them narcissistic. I'm a high value man. If you're a high value man, you don't need to be telling everybody that. Do you know what I mean? You don't need, who do you need that from? Why are you telling me that?
I feel like as a society, we've taken off what the meaning of value was. Like, people think it's monetary value and financial means it's not. There's values, integrity, honesty, 100%. Like responsibility. Like there's so much that's been a value, like honorable person, and society's made it like, no, unless you're rich. And it's like, no, just being rich, you could be a CUNT. It doesn't make you high value. It just means you got money. Like they're two different things.
What are your values? What are your morals? Like, what do you live your life by? Someone said to me once, I mean, you know, there's some that are religious and some that are not, but someone said to me that you find yourself a man who has a heart for God, for he is accountable
100%.
to him.
I love that.
Right?
I love a God-fearing man.
If a man is God-fearing and he's got a heart for God and he's accountable for him, that's how he lives his life. That's a high value man to
100%.
me. That's a man that's got a lot of
100%.
values instilled in him, how he's going to treat me, his family, his friends, the morals that he stands on.
Because it's a duty from God that he has to adhere to. Do you get what I mean? It's not society.
100%.
It's God has given him this responsibility and he has to do it, and there's repercussions.
And I don't think you, as a high value man, should be doing this whole, what do you bring to the table?
No.
No disrespect. Like, obviously we're not going to go back in time to the 1950s, right? When we couldn't, as women, work and earn as much money and things like that, But men did not go out sourcing a woman who could financially look after them and financially look after a house. That wasn't what we were supposed to do. Yes, we have our own dollars now, and yes, we can bring stuff to the table, but have you got a table for me to sit at?
Doesn't that contradict what they want? Doesn't that contradict it? Because it's either you're a provider or you're not. Exactly. Which one is it? Because you can't tell me, what do I bring? I bring myself. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't say.
But this is it. Like, it depends. Because I say everyone wants different things in life. There are some men that just want a woman who looks pretty and don't have nothing else to give. And there's others that want women who can cook and clean and have a business
and nurture their kids,
do this and nurture their children. So when you know what you want, then you'll go in source of that woman. But when you're talking about I'm a high value man, why? Because you've got money, but you beat your girlfriend. That's not a high value man.
All right. So I'm gonna say, I think that I don't have anything against Andrew Tate per se, right? But Andrew Tate has been put at the top of the hierarchy. Yeah, he's the top G, remember? He is the ultimate high value man, okay? So we've now got a generation of young men, a lot of them fatherless, a lot of them coming from broken homes, a lot of them coming from poverty, a lot of them coming from criminal backgrounds that are all now aspiring to be the next Andrew Tate, because they think that that is the ideal of a high value man. And yes, Andrew Tate does have some qualities that I would say are higher value in terms of he is probably very financially stable and able to provide for you. Okay, what woman wouldn't want a man that is financially stable? That's not a bad attribute at all. In fact, it's something very desirable, but it shouldn't be what we're desiring.
And
like
valuing.
we want them to have all this money. For me, it's more about good character. It's more about, do you make me laugh? Do you make me smile? Do you tickle my back for me? Do you stroke my face when I can't sleep and I've had a nightmare and you're making me go back to bed? Do you know how to make my tea for me in the morning? Like, it's little things. The tea one. You don't have to come with this Ferrari and all this money to be high value.
In saying that though, the people would argue that two poor people, my granny used to say it, two poor people can't love. And the truth of the matter is, the rent needs to be paid. So we can love each other all day long, but someone's got to pay this rent. Otherwise, we're homeless holding hands. And that's not what anybody wants.
Love don't pay the bills.
Let's be honest, no one wants that. So when we're looking at our men, I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but men, everyone's got their own
financial
idea.
Stability. Yeah,
Financial stability.
Or at least someone to be able to take care of their half so you can take care of your half.
You do what you need to do so I can do what a woman, in my opinion, is supposed to do. Love and nurture and support. We are the backbones, you know. They say the man is the head of the house, the woman is the neck. Yeah, we control a lot. We help and support and do what we need to do.
I honestly don't think, like, I know it's 2023. I feel like if we were to ask the majority of women, would you want to be provided for and taken care of? Even my friends who were adamant they were right-wing feminists, independent, all of that, they've gone through this life and they're actually saying, no, I want to put my feet up. I want to take care of my kids now. I want to, like, a lot of them might not be mothers and they want to be mothers now. Do you get what I mean? And they understand that traditional role and why it worked.
100%.
But what people don't realize is Andrew Tate, like, before he became Muslim, I wasn't a fan at all. Like, because obviously, firstly, you have to ask yourself, where has he got the money from? If you're making money from, just say someone's making money from drugs and you're the wealthiest, you're not going to be a high value man. You're still making money immorally. Do you get what I mean? Andrew Tate, his background, I don't know about the guy, but you know, I know it's not legitimate and great and amazing. Like, he's not had a business idea that's honest. Do you get what I mean?
haram.
Yeah, exactly. But since becoming Muslim, I feel like, and I hope he does change, because now he talks about sex less and he talks about promiscuous behaviour less. And I respect that.
And that's where we come into talking about a man who has a heart for God.
Exactly.
Your values change.
Your values change.
For me, a high value man is a family man.
Yeah.
My granddad used to say, home drum beat first. You are
100%.
a family man that is a high value man. And I want to be able to go on maternity leave and not have to worry about nothing and birth your children and do up house. That's what I want to do.
I have an interesting fact, actually, and shout out Sadia, the psychologist. She was breaking down this point about extremely, and I'm going to call them high value air quotation things. So basically super rich men. And she made the point that super rich men actually get cheated on the most, right?
Yeah, because there's no emotional connection. Yeah.
And they said because a super rich man is not going to be able to give time, attention. He's going to need a woman who's a bit more emotionally detached. He's going to need a woman who's okay with not spending nights and evenings with him. He's going to need a woman who's secure when he's away with all of these business meetings. And the reality is our nature as women, we want to love you, we want to nurture you. Yeah. You know, Eddie Hearn said it once. He said, women aren't gold diggers, they just want your time. And that's what he said. And a lot of the time, as women, that's what we want. So if you are an extremely rich man, you are going to be extremely busy. You can't have like cake without the custard. Well, you don't like custard, but you know, like, you can't have either or. So that's another interesting fact, and I think that men should bear in mind as well, that if you are with a woman who you don't have to spend any emotional currency on, and she, that for me is a red flag, and that's why super rich men get cheated on the most.
I will just say, before we wrap this one up, that I don't want any young men feeling less than, inadequate.
Exactly.
I don't want them feeling like, because I don't have the Lamborghini, because I don't have the most biggest biceps going, and I don't have thousands of OnlyFans girls, that I'm not good enough. You're good enough.
You're good enough.
There is someone for everybody, and you will find your ideal partner in your good time.
And don't follow these men.
Don't follow the trend.
Don't follow the trend.
Don't follow the red
like, you know, for me, a high value man is the Prophet, peace be upon him. And if you look at his teaching, he didn't have millions, and he's one of the most influential men on the planet. And my dad was very similar. He took care of his kids, all 14 of them. He took care of his wives. Do you get what I mean? Like he was a responsible man. So I feel like a man like that is
a family man, a good man with good morals. Well, that was a good one, girls. Thank you very much. Like, comment, share, subscribe.
See you next week. Bye bye.